welcome to today's Los Blancos podcast. Today we'll be discussing the Sevilla game in which we won 4-2, final game of the year at the Santiago Bernabeu. It was a bit of a thriller at the Bernabeu, right? It was a very, very good game. And I thought for the first time this season we displayed a complete attacking performance. It was really good on the offensive end, not so amazing on the defensive end. There were some issues there which definitely need to be ironed out, but going forward I thought it was excellent. And obviously this is a game we're missing Vinny, and so what were your thoughts on the overall result, the overall attacking performance after this game?
I really like the attacking performance has been much better in the past few games. Players have been less set, less off the ball, which is helping the team. Honestly, like that is starting to click. Unfortunately, we played one of our best games before the holidays, so of course we have to wait a bit to execute them. And we know normally we start off the year a bit slowly, and we have a tough game to start the year. But you know what? This was a good game. Where we could have maybe try new things, implement new things, and maybe take chances, especially in the attacking half. And we did. We really did. Of course, if we play like that, then we can be one of the best teams in the world. Well, maybe the best team in the world if we play a bit more consistently and more together. So that's excellent. Of course, there were some defensive lapses, but I believe that's what we always thought about Madrid when we signed all these players. This is not my quote, but this is someone else's quote that they said that the performance yesterday showed that the attack was so good that the defensive lapses were mitigated and it wasn't talked about that much. And that's because of how good the attack was, and that is what was vision at the start of the season. But due to maybe form, injuries, and Mbappe not doing well, and that was never really came into fruition. And we have our best players now starting to click together.
Yeah,
so this is a good thing.
I want to start with Mbappe because he got injured against Atalanta, a game in which he actually looked really good in, and then this midweek he played pretty well against Pachuca as well. So going into this game, I had pretty high hopes for Mbappe, thinking that maybe this is the start of some good form, and I was not disappointed. I think this game was a lot better than what we've seen from Mbappe. He still missed quite a few good chances. I thought the one where Lucas Vázquez put a cross into him, and it was just in front of it was him versus the goalkeeper, and he could have scored that. It was a difficult shot to undertake, I understand, but I think he should have done better. But overall, I think his play was much improved. I thought on the ball, he looked a lot more dangerous. I've seen quite a lot this season where he's cutting in instead of going on the outside, where he could really cause problems with his pace. So I think something he needs to do a little bit more often is try and take the defender on down the line, which obviously Vinny loves to do, but Mbappe isn't doing so much. So I think that's a place where he could do a little bit better. But another place I think in this game especially, I think he did really well in was the counter attacks. The transitions were fantastic, and I think him playing as a striker, his little layoff game was really good in this game, where he would receive the ball as a lone man, and he would turn, spin, and then play it off to Brahim Diaz or play it to Jude, and then he would be on his way, right? And I think his off-ball movement was much improved in this game. And I thought overall, we saw it in the overall transition. He is the key to the transition at this point, where if he plays well, if he knows what to do, if he knows how the other players are moving, then suddenly the whole transition attack unlocks, and we play a lot better in the transition, which is what was promised to us at the start of the season. So I thought he was really, really damn good in this game, in his overall play, and it was much improved from previous games. And this is definitely something that I'm excited about going into the new year. Hopefully that he can continue it going into the games. Obviously, we're not going to be playing against teams like Sevilla every week that are very dysfunctional in the defence, disorganised. I thought Sevilla were, which is quite surprising because Garcia Pimenta's not really this type of manager that's this disorganised. But this Sevilla team was very, very bad, I thought, defensively. But Mbappe picked them apart, and this is what we want. This is exactly what we want from Mbappe. I thought the wingers that were playing off Mbappe did the perfect job. They all did fantastic jobs, knowing when to release the ball when they did, because often you'd get into a position where it was Vinny, Rodrigo, or Mbappe, and they would just mess around with the ball for far too long. I think they all made the right decisions. They all made the right decisions to when to release the ball, and it ended in plenty of goals for us, plenty of shots, chances created for us. There was plenty of chances. We could have scored more goals, especially in that first half. And I think it all stemmed from Mbappe initially, and all of the other guys, Brahim Diaz, Rodrigo, Jude, made the right decisions alongside Mbappe. And I think this was the complete attacking performance. Whereas before we would rely on a bit of individual brilliance by Vinny to open the scoring or get us an equaliser. I think in this game, it was very much more patterns of play. You could see it happening. They knew when to move off each other. It looked like things were finally clicking, and that's something that I'm very excited about. The attack looks like it's finally clicking. So, what are your thoughts on the Mbappe's performance as well as the overall attack?
Yeah, I could forgive some of the missed chances due to how positive the performance was, the play, the runs that he was making, the movement, the passes, the assist as well, and of course his movement is much better now, and he seems much more confident. Of course, the goal was excellent, so you can forgive the mistakes and the missed chances, and it's not like he scored the goal to make it 3-0. He scored the goal to make it 1-0, the first and the opening goal, which kind of opened out the floodgates. So we have to take the positives, and the negatives is getting less and less with each passing game, which is a good thing, which is a big thing, because he really did struggle a lot, but now is the time for him to just maybe get some more rest after a bit of an injury, and then come back out just to do well when the time comes in next season, next year I should say, because the first game of the Mestalla is going to be a tough one, so you have to depend on him. So just him performing well and scoring goals is going to be so good. And a final quote that I have to say for Mbappe is that, remember here in the quote, which says that if Mbappe starts taking his chances in the conversation amongst Real Madrid season, will change completely. And I would have to agree with that, because he has so many chances that he missed so many that now we lost and dropped a lot of points. But if he can take those chances, then we can definitely be high up in the table and start winning games that we would have chosen and lost.
Yeah, and hopefully this starts now. Obviously, there are still huge improvements that he can make to his game to get back to his level. But, this is a start. This is obviously a start, and we're seeing a slow but steady incline in his performances. This was much better than some of the performances that we saw at the start of the season. He was much improved in these last few games that he's played. Like I said, against against Atalanta, against Pachuca, and now against Sevilla. It's much improved, and I'm very happy for him. It's getting back to his performances, and this is what we want. So, really important performance by Kylian Mbappe. I want to talk about Rodrigo and Brahim Diaz as well, because I briefly mentioned it, but Rodrigo, really good performance, I thought, and he's been really good in these last few games. Rayo Vallecano, I thought that finish he took was really well. He took that really well, and against Pachuca he played, again, that finish against Pachuca was fantastic, right? So I thought he was fantastic again. And it's very clear to me that, when Rodrigo's playing like this, he is one of the best wingers in the world. It's just, in previous years, the consistency has not been there, and now you can hopefully see that he's been a lot more consistent this season. He hasn't had a stretch of bad games like he would have in the past. He's had a stretch of injured games, which obviously is unfortunate, but whenever he's played, I think he's looked really good, and he brings this sense of, when he plays like this, he does bring a sense of stability to the attack, where, Vinny and Mbappe bring that asymmetrical to the left. And Rodrigo plays like this, he draws so many defenders to him, and I think that was fantastic from Rodrigo here. And, you can tell he's just a fantastic player, left winger. He made all the right decisions a lot of the time. He was fantastic, I thought. Just the way he played, dribbling and progressing the ball, as well as his chance creation in this game, was really good. And there was one play in the first half where he, who lost the ball? I think it was Mbappe who lost the ball, and he came up from behind than the defender and just won it back and got a shot off. I think it was a really good performance by Rodrigo, and hopefully he can continue. And then Brahim Diaz, someone who definitely has not been looked at as a starting figure at Real Madrid, but in these games where we're playing against a team that's definitely more dysfunctional, I think this is the type of game where Brahim Diaz should be starting. A game where he can definitely cause issues. You can tell that Sevilla could not deal with Brahim Diaz because of the energy, the pure dynamism. Whenever Mbappe used to pass laid off to Brahim Diaz, it's just such an issue to get the ball off of Brahim Diaz at points. He is a problem. Going forward, you can't get the ball off of him so easily, and then you have to commit more defenders or you have to bring him down, and it just causes issues for the opposition team. And it's a great player to have for us, to bring off the bench and to start in games like this where he can definitely make a huge impact against the team like Sevilla. So, really important performance by both of them. And obviously Jude Bellingham, he was just fantastic. And like I mentioned with Brahim Diaz, you can't get the ball off of Brahim, but you can't get the ball off Jude Bellingham. Like he's so strong. I'm just thinking, right? If I was on a 1v1 against Jude Bellingham, and it was you had to score 100 goals, and I had a 99 goal lead, I don't think I would score I don't think I would score one, because Jude Bellingham's just. I don't think Jude Bellingham I don't think I could stop Jude Bellingham in scoring a goal, because he's just so strong. He's you can't get the ball off of him by just nicking it in, and because his change of movement, his change of pace is just fantastic. He knows where to go. He knows what the defender's going to do every single time. He's just a step ahead, and I think I'm so glad we got this guy on our team, because he is just a step ahead of the opposition team at all points. And you can just tell that when he's playing well and he's playing at his best, we're just playing on another level. And I think Jude Bellingham had another fantastic performance, and obviously Fede, what a fantastic goal that was. I mean, if I'm not sure about when the Puskas 2025 goal period starts, but I mean this should be right up there, to be honest. The spin that ball had on it was crazy. And this is what last 2 weeks ago last week we played against Rayo, and he scored that ridiculous goal against Rayo from he's so far out. He scores one again. It just feels like Valverde can't stop scoring at this current moment in time, and it looks like he's getting these nailed on shots, and it's fantastic from Fede. So yeah, what are your thoughts on the wingers and the midfielders?
I think with Fede, I think this is going to be one of the reasons why we can't really keep him in the back position. I believe that his shot is so good that we would miss it from that position. I think that if you have him at right back, I think it's more defensive work, more hard running on to overlap. I think because Vasquez can do the running, it's just a defensive thing. The defensive concentration, defensive mistakes is the biggest concern. So that's why maybe Valverde is still the best option there. But I think you would miss so much on what he does: the shooting, the energy, the drive from midfield to the wing position. I think that would be missed. So I think Valverde, I think maybe in the last few games, seeing how that he scored 2 goals in back-to-back Liga games. From basically not the same position but similar position, I think it shows maybe why we need him in midfield compared to the right back position, because if he would have been playing at right back, he would have never scored that goal, those 2 goals. So I can understand that. And of course, the transfer market in the right back position is another situation, but that I won't get into now. But in terms of Rodrigo, I think, if he works hard and gives 100%, then he should be a starter. If not, then he should be on the bench, because Diaz is a hard worker, and Diaz would give the team balance at the start of the season. Rodrigo, he wasn't working that hard. Bellingham was the hardest worker of them all, and it affected him. So I think as long as everyone is contributing 100%, especially Rodrigo, then he should start. If he gives us the dynamic movements, if he gives us defensive tracking, then he should be a starter. It's as simple as that. And for the past few weeks, he did it, and he's also scoring. So I think if you do that, you help the team a bit more, because then you would have the ball more. If you pressure the team more, if you track back more, then you would have the ball more, compared to if you just don't track and allow the opposition to attack you. You're going to struggle. But if you have the ball more, then there's less to do in terms of the attacking movement. In terms of defensive transition, then you have more opportunities to attack. I think that definitely helped a lot with playing Camavinga at left back. I think Camavinga at left back helps you keep the ball, and also helps when he chips into midfield. His build up from the back is much better than Mendy and Garcia. But of course, it allows you to play Dani Ceballos in midfield, Luka Modric in midfield. I think Dani Ceballos is the best option. Now at this stage in 2025, going into 2025, I think since 2022, 2023, I think it was time for Luka Modric to be more of an impact substitution. And I think it's 2025 now, so now it's Dani Ceballos' time to start some games, which is a bit weird to say because remember, Dani Ceballos actually came in as a long-term replacement for Tony Luka in 2017. So it's 2025 now, so it's 8 years later. Ceballos is finally outliving Luka Modric and Toni Kroos, and finally he's getting into the starting team, which is really good for him because he's a player that I like. I know that due to his name, due to other bigger names, due to other players in the team, especially if everyone is fit, he isn't going to get much minutes. But in my opinion, we don't need a player like Zubimendi if we have Ceballos, in my opinion, because Ceballos deserves the minutes. He's been here long enough to start these games over signing someone like Zubimendi. Yes, if there's a generational talent available, then yes, we should sign him, but I don't think it's Zubimendi. I think Ceballos should be getting the minutes over someone like Zubimendi, or maybe someone like, let's say, a lesser name, like Mikel Merino, like someone like that. Yeah, they're good players, good Spanish players, but I think Ceballos should be getting those opportunities. So I'm really happy for him. Also Bellingham as well, who is back to being Jude Bellingham after a slow start of the season, and having the contribution from all players, especially Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinicius, who can head up the ball and just making better movement off the ball is helping Jude Bellingham to be the Jude Bellingham of last season. Because the team wasn't functional really this season, and he was, of course, doing so much with that it affected him. But now things are looking much better. No goal contribution today for him, but 6 Liga games straight with one should be commended. But the goals isn't really the main thing in his performance. Like Ancelotti always say, as long as the teams win, team win. But he always contributes in the play to assist or to have some sort of contribution throughout the game. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to talk about Dani Ceballos as well, because I thought this press yesterday was much better. I thought the way we committed a lot more people to play, a lot more men to pressing was really, really good. I thought Dani Ceballos, Fede and Camavinga had a lot to do with it, because you could tell they're obviously ground eaters. They all love to just get around the pitch. And so I think Dani Ceballos, having him in this type of game is so valuable, and I think he's a lot more. I think a lot of these midfield, a lot of these players are luxury players, I would like to say, but someone like Dani Ceballos, who's a lot more down to the ground, who definitely is going to get down and dirty with these type of games, is so valuable. And it's his season so far has been great. His revolution season ultimately, like, he's been absolutely instrumental in our us getting form again. We're recovering some form, so I think he's been very, very valuable for us so far. And it's so important after the him almost leaving last summer to Betis, going back to Betis. He's fantastic so far this season. The way he picks up the ball and progresses it, he's just an all-round midfielder, and he does everything that we need him to do, which is so valuable for us. At this current moment in time, hopefully he can continue it. And like you said, I think he should be no doubt ahead of Modric at this point. And in terms of the future, we're talking about the future. Modric has got one, maybe 2 seasons left in him. At the highest level, and beyond that, we're talking about 4 midfielders. In this squad, Fede, we've got Fede, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, and Bellingham. And if we shift Tchouaméni to being a centre back full time, that's 3 midfielders. So Dani Ceballos is going to be so valuable in terms of providing the depth, the long term. in that midfield, and I think he's just going to have to be a solid squad option, and I think that's really important to have in this squad, that versatility, and I think the way he can mold himself into being different type of midfielder, I think that's really important for us to have. So I was really happy with Danny Ceballos after this game. Then the defense, there were some defensive lapses in this game. I thought the Isaac Romero goal should have been dealt with better. And the fact that nobody was tracking Isaac Romero was very stupid, and a lot of blame went on to Shermany. But whoever could have tracked that runner, like Isaac Romero is a fantastic player. He's been really good for Sevilla over the last 2 years. You should be able to track him. You should be tracking him no matter what. And unfortunately, it led to a goal, a really well taken header and really good cross. Really, yeah, it was a really good cross by I forgot who it was, but nonetheless, it was still a really good goal from really good taken goal from Isaac Romero. I think it was Juan who gave the cross. So yeah, either way, and then the second goal, we could say this guy could do better. Courtois could have done better for the goal, but the second one from Luca Bacchio. But at the end of the day, it was a 4-2 win. And I'm willing to say it was just a really good taken goal by Luca Bacchio to go near post, hit it that hard and score. So fair enough. I'm not gonna get on Courtois for that. And yeah, I mean apart from that, I think it wasn't a really good performance to end the year. Have you got anything else to add, maybe on the defense after this game?
The lapses in concentration was a bit disappointing. Of course, yes, I would say that. But like I said earlier, the attack was really good, which mitigated any talk or any pressure. So I think it's a step in the right direction. Courtois, in my opinion, he's been good this season. He's not been poor, but of course he hasn't been, in my opinion, the Courtois that we know would make some of these teams really comfortable. He's been back from an injury, but he's not having a poor season. It's just maybe some of the goals that he would have saved in the past, it's just going in. But it would have gone in for another goalkeeper as well. But after seeing some of the goals that are scored on Alisson and Edison, it's okay, it's understandable to have not one of your best seasons, but still be excellent, which shows how good of a goalkeeper he is. In terms of goalkeeping, I actually saw Kepa against Manchester United, and he's doing really well. So good for him actually. But back to Courtois, he actually made a few good saves as well. It's just the shot which was scored on him. The Lookman goal on the near post, this one on the near post. It was hit with so much power. I will have to say, it's a good shot. It's not a team shot that beat him through his leg or under his leg for the goal yesterday. It went under his leg. He got a touch on it where it was hit on so much force that maybe he didn't get his leg down in time. It was a good shot. We have to give him that. The Lookman one, I think it was similar to the Mbappe goal where Mbappe scored against us in 21-22 at the Bernabeu when Courtois was beaten at his near post. It happens, it's two good shots, a glitch in the matrix, how often that happens, but yeah, he hasn't been 10 out of 10, but he's been 8, 7, 7.5, close to 9 sometimes, so for a good goalkeeper, you have to maybe expect that sometimes, and he's doing well. But of course, he has set the standard so high that people may think he's playing poorly, but he's still doing well, in my opinion.
100%, and it takes time, but in the big games he still is performing. Against Barcelona, he played a very good game actually. He did all he could. Not Barcelona, against Liverpool, he did all he could. When we lost, so yeah, unfortunately. These things happen, but it didn't cost us the game, so who really cares, right? And for now, who really cares for now? So yeah, that's all I've got to say about this Sevilla game. We've got a game against Valencia next year in 2025. Then we've got the Copa del Rey game against Deportivo Minera, I think that name is, and then we go into Saudi Arabia for the Super Copa as well. So another huge game against Mallorca. So that's not going to be an easy game, definitely not. But yeah, 100%. We're ready. I'm ready to watch some more Real Madrid games in the coming year. But I mean, that is it for today. Last Los Blancos podcast before Christmas. I hope all of you Madridistas have a good Christmas, good New Year. That's it for me today. I'll have please hit that like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.